graduated, elevated. Now it's my time to shine, yeah, let's go. Major moves, power moves, take it to the top one time non-stop.
Hello Utaw and welcome to PhD Hardtalk. Thank you so much for your time and knowledge sharing today. Could you please introduce your research and also who you are and what year you're in?
Yes, so thank you so much in your talking. My name is Utaw and I'm a third-year student in Dublin University. So right now I'm processing my PhD writing up stage. So this is essential stage for me. So within my research, I'm not sure everybody will know that, but I think everybody get touch within that every day. In academia, we called my research the name, which is autistic sports. So which is a name from I'm not sure which country will come from, but in China we always call this the autistic sports. But when I get research in the Western, I found it different. So before I introduce my research, I think I should get a brief about what is the autistic sports, because this terminology may confuse somebody. So what is
already?
Yes. So for the autistic sports, which is the new concept and constantly being researched by the interdisciplinary researchers, it is the social activities which is expressing the person's physical exercise ability, proving improved personal development and both body and mind, and constantly strong aesthetic and artistic elements. For example, each includes the fixed skating, rhythmic gymnastic, like dance sports and synchronized swimming. So I'm good at the fixed skating and still for the dance sports. So many people confuse my occupation, because I have been working in China for 10 years at university. I learned from the sport university, but I work in the dance area. So it's an interdisciplinary area. So many people will question me. What is actually a job? Is you're working in sports or you're working with dance? So normally I explain it, I working with the autistic sports or sport art. What is sport art? Why will I speak about the sport art? Because in the academia in Western, some scholars explained this area named the sporting art. In here, it has been used in various forms in the field of art, such as sport literature, sports sculpture, or sports architecture, and sports music, sports clothing, sports photographer, or sports painting, sport films, sport television, etc. like that. So many things within there. So this is the main area everybody to get in touch, but less people do the research in this area. So come back just regarding my research, my main purpose, which is to developing and improving the setting of the curriculum in higher education, and to benefit the person who needs the help, such as the vulnerable children, elderly people, and the children in care or disabled. In China, I processing many research subjects regarding the left behind children, which is the vulnerable children. They left the parents for a long time and lived and study and working a long time with their grandparents. This is this type of children, which is the belongs to the vulnerable children, and all these kinds of children have many issues, which like education issues, societal issues, psychology issues. Many of them have autism. So my main objectives is to improve their self-confidence or self-esteem. So this is my research area, which I processing in University of Derby, and still I researching connect the Chinese higher education together. So for me, it's a hard work. Not only the PhD dissertation, I should finish within 3 years. Still, I should to finish in 2 extra research about the vulnerable children, which connect the left behind children in China. So this is hard.
Okay, so you've touched on a lot of things, and thank you very much for building the context so that we understand what it is that you do. So your research is focusing on Chinese children that have been left behind with their grandparents and they're seen as vulnerable. So what quantifies them to be vulnerable? I know you mentioned autism, but surely all of them don't suffer from autism. What else quantifies them to be vulnerable?
So many methods we can use that. Spatial, use the questionnaire. Some spatial. When I go to some special area, which like special secondary school or primary school is special for left behind children. So I can make the teacher cooperate with me, work with me together, and send the questionnaire to answer some question. So when I get the feedback from the questionnaire, of the children have a very lower autism. So I think that is the main issues involved in their mental. But after our intervention with our autistic board strategy, with some special dancing movements, so we improve their mental, and then after that we text again the level is more higher. So I think that this improves their self-confidence and improve their self-esteem. So that is more benefit for this sort of children. So this not only in China have this case happen in China. I think whole the world, many children have faced these kinds of the issues, because follow the developing of the economy, many adults will go to work outside. They have no plenty times to care about our children, and then they left their children to their grandparents to care about with their grandparents, but it's not good for the growing for the children. So that is issues we are concerned about. So when we concerned about these kind of things, and we test with questionnaire and with talking, with communication, we found this totally different between the city. A city belongs to the city, urban children, or village, or some poor area children. When we complicate the mindset or the mental or the language, the words, the use, totally different. So I think some issues with them. So this is the things which I processed in China. So when I come over here, I believe my knowledge or my capacity is not enough to help all of them. So I decide to stronger our higher education curriculum, like the curriculum contents, or like develop the curriculum strategy to cultivate many students can equip this kind of ability, and then to help all of them, the children. That is the things which I did in the university. So I compare 2 countries, even 3 countries, Italian, UK, China, which more deeply understanding how to help them, and then make the benefit involved in our higher education, and use the higher education, use the teacher can transfer the knowledge to our students and strong our group and benefit many vulnerable children, elderly children, or like even the disabled.
Okay, I find this quite interesting because you know, I love the fact that you've compared different countries, but now I'm thinking in my head in terms of human capital at the moment, or talent pools per se, and a lot of individuals are migrating from the third world, as we would call it, into, you know, the Western world, because they want to change the poverty cycle into a positive cycle in that sense. And most of the children, as you've rightly mentioned, they are left with the grandparents, and usually in the villages, not even in the city, or they are sent to boarding schools and they're looked after by a school. So having focused on, you know, Italy, for example, would you say that your research will be beneficial, for example, for a country like the DRC or Angola, which is in Africa, or maybe we'll say Colombia or Ecuador? Do you think it would work?
That's definitely, because last year I joined the Sustainable Education Development meeting, which is transferred this kind of information over the world, especially in this sort of area. Because, like you said, the immigrant people from different countries come over here or Western area, so they left the children behind their country. So that is the issues all the world. So like Italian, we worked with some dancer. They help the mental, they help the physical health with the dance with many children and work with them. So they will strong their confidence, make them more stronger for their life. That is good things for whole the world. It's not just for in China, not just like UK, like Italy, and each individual country. Not, yes.
Okay, so, you know, going to the dance, I'm not really the greatest dancer. I've got 2 left feet. In terms of the music that you use for these sessions, what genre is it? Just to build a picture.
Not necessary to focus special genre. I think any music, anything can make sounds. We can dance. Dance is from our mental, is from our emotion. It's not necessary more stylely, more regularly, more standardly to do anything. That is not. That is a performance. It's not dance. When we burn it out, we can cry, right? We can shouting. We're angry. We're shouting. We're happy. We're jumping. That is dance. Everything's dance. It's not like performance. No, many people make this understanding dance, which is performance in stage. No, not dance. That's a performance, right? So dance is original our life. So that's these things. We can strong our life. We can use our body language to strong our mental. That's the things. But many people, without it, without this kind of mindset. So they can move, they can angry, they can do everything, but they can't use the mental, use the body language to judge themselves, make more benefit for the health. No, so we need to improve that, and to mention some people do that.
I love what you've just said, and you know, in the sense of, you know, when we do go, like, for example, Happy Chinese New Year, I'll throw that in there, it's the year of the tiger. For example, right now at uni, I know that, you know, you had the food, etc. Some people, for example, myself, if I was to dance in a crowd, I wouldn't necessarily dance the way I would at home, because I'm quite conscious of people like looking at me. So therefore I turn it into a performance. It's like, oh yes, you know. So how do you assess?
Yes, many people think that is the awkward thing. So we can't, if it is so shiny, right? So many people watch me. If I can't dance properly, many people will give me some bad comments with that.
Yeah.
No way, no way. If you want to dance, you can move, you can dance. That's the things, not necessary. But this is the issues in your mental, right? Like me, the same. As me, the same. I'm a professional dancer. 10 years ago, I'm a professional dancer. Right now, I can't properly dance publicly because I mentioned myself. I have a mental issue about that. It's a battle for myself, but I can't judge myself. But I need to help myself to express my emotion. That's his emotion. Not care about, not scared about that. So you can dance, and when you do that, I think more than half audience will give you applause, give you a clap, right? So don't care about that. This is your expression, is your emotion. So if you can tell everybody, if you want to think or to watch, to get in touch with the proper dance, okay, go to theater, right? You go to theater, that's dancing proper dancer. That's special for performance. You go to theater. Our life, not 100% have the proper dance ability, right? But 99% need dance.
I agree. We've got a review in April, don't forget. So we need to dance our way to April.
Great. You can dance if you can't. I will lead you to do that. Don't worry.
But so I think I'm loving your research, and I'm now thinking, in terms of university right now, we've had COVID-19, and some of our colleagues, like you said, your main area is dance. And with the restrictions that were put in by the government in the UK, and also from a global perspective, all of us have had to work from home. So do you think, looking at your model, which looks at the children that have been left behind, we as students have been left behind by COVID? Like COVID was like in front and leading, and we were way back here. So looking at your model, would it work with us as students? Because I'm thinking in terms of therapy, it's great. And, the well-being stuff that's being initiated by the universities from a global standpoint. But dance, I think, would be impeccable. Just listening to what you're saying. So would your model work for students? I wouldn't say young people, because I feel like we're all at different ages. But do you think it would work?
Yes, it must be work. Right now, Italian researcher is studying these areas. He worked with the body image dance, which is remoting dance. Not necessarily touching, getting in touch. Not necessarily, just like us. We commute with the computer, with some software, and I'm a dancer. I can help you dance by yourself. So what is the body image? As he's explained, that give you a picture in your mind, and then to modify, to mimic the picture with your body. And then I will count. Like right now, I give you a picture. Your dog right now is shouting you, and then this naughty shouting you. At the same time, he picked the ball and run everywhere, and then you can do the same things as by yourself. Yeah. So then you feel emotion, and then you were laughing, and so when you do that, when you did that, I can record that and put a report to you, and you can watch yourself laughing. That is a good dance. Great.
Yeah.
It's a remote dance, the body image. So in dance area, whatever movement you can do, so we just organize it properly. That is kind of dance belongs to yourself. So dance is, I say, dance original from your heart, original from your head, original from emotion, not necessarily performance.
Oh wow! No, I love that. You made me laugh without me realizing that I was actually enjoying what I was doing and reacting to Bella, who's just there. So that was amazing. I think we need that. You need to speak to Maria.
Yes. That's already COVID, because the long-term COVID make many people stuck in a home. They can't get exercise, right? So many times they, with the computer and talk, communicate with the boring things, with the boring class. Sometimes they need somebody to make many different things, and then to do something. You're gonna find when you sit down stably, don't do anything, just watch the computer, 2 hours passed, it's so boring, you need to get sleepy, you want to go outside. But during this time, some teachers make you do something with your mind, and when you take your hands, your head, your shoulder, your chest, your body move, at least 1 minute, right? 2 minutes, totally in love, make you laughing, make you more activity, make you exciting, continue next.
Yeah, no, that is impeccable, and I genuinely do like your research, because I think that's quite interesting. But then now I'm thinking in terms of publications, as you know, we're in the world of publish 1, 2, you get a job, 3, oh, brilliant. So are you thinking to collaborate with somebody from sociology or from psychology? Because I think it does interlink into milestones, as you said, they're left behind. So in terms of the psychological impact and their growth is negatively affected. So are you thinking to collaborate and work with somebody to publish, to teach people like us?
Yes, definitely. I should. I will do. It's not just should. I will do, because with my research individually, I can't do anything. My research area, which is interdisciplinary area, so we should connect many kinds of the discipline to work together. But like right now, I cooperate with my colleague with some research, like dance. Like I will mention with you the dance image is your brand, like remote teaching dance, or like the mental, so the total is a teacher. So like I did the research in China, more focused on left behind children. So in China, I have more than 30 my students, university students, which is my old students, working in this area, and go everywhere to help left behind children during 2 years. Within 2 years, I found many mental issues with the teacher. It's not left behind children. They left behind children, and in 2 years, the teacher make issues with that. So right now, I'm processing another research is about the teacher. It's not only just left behind the children. You know how serious they are.
Usually I can control myself.
Yes. So when I talk with somebody, I found something different. 2 years ago, I talked with all my group, with the research group. They're more positive, more interested. Do this kind of work?
Yeah.
2 years passed. When they give me feedback, many of them, I don't want it. I don't want you again. I must leave. I won't leave. I can't bear about that.
Yeah.
I think, why? And then at the end of this year, many people reflect, give me many reflection, communicate with me, then make many issues in some rural areas, some village, some mountain area, and communicate with the left behind children, because it's a big group. So I think children or in whole environment impact the teacher. So right now I found many strange things. So okay, right now I started another research about the tutor who just helping the left behind children.
Yeah.
Yes, it's a good thing, because if we need many teachers to help this kind of children, so what about the mental regarding the teachers themselves. If themselves not mental health, not good mental health, they can't help.
No,
Right?
yeah.
So that's another research I should do. So
It is.
I left one step, two step. Oh, mad, many things.
But the good thing is you always be in a job because you'll be publishing. So
Yes, yes, and then after that, one paper published, and another paper published, and another paper published. Finally, maybe I think all the issues which I made it.
yeah,
I made
it's
the
you.
issues, I solved it. I made issues, I solved it. Oh no.
So you know what? Now you've just mentioned about the teachers. I'm now thinking it's not just the teachers, it's the grandparents and also the children when they grow up. They won't be able to cope in normal day to day. So therefore they'll cause more issues in the workplace and in their personal lives. So in terms of a holistic view then, me having mentioned all of that, what is the future? Are you going to address the policymakers? For example, you're looking at China specifically at the moment. Are you thinking to have a conversation with the government in terms of what measures to put in place, or you haven't thought that far?
Yes, if I have opportunity to talk with the government officer, because definitely in China, I've talked with them. So I finished some project cooperate with them because I found these kind of questions. So the government must to face these kind of things because they will impact the people's lives, the small ones, biggest lives, the biggest ones, they will impact the economy. To growth in the whole country, even the whole world. So I make some recommendations that the government officer can more support the rural area to establish the rural area, make the parents come back, work locally, and care about the children, not like the old times. We all the people gathering in the big city, they work in the big city for the whole years. 1 year back one time, 1 year back one time, left behind children, all making every time. So it's not necessary. So the government can separate the resource, the factory, the rebuild the factory in the rural area, to establish the road, to establish all the in the country things, in the nation things. It's not like only in China. I think all over the world. Even UK, even Europe, it's the same. The same. Yeah.
But then now I'm thinking, in terms of China, it's going through, well, maybe it's gone past the industrial era per se. Maybe you're almost there, you're almost done. The way in which China will make money in the next 5 years is not going to be what it was 10 years ago, or maybe currently. In terms of factories, because if you look at China, well, you're from China, you might beg to differ. They've literally gone global in terms of their infrastructure. So they're building hospitals, roads globally, and even in I think in Nottingham there's a bridge that's got a Chinese name on it. I think China sponsored it.
Ningbo Youyi Qiao.
Yeah.
I think this is they're built by Chinese government. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes,
So
it's a relationship bridge. That's great.
You see what I mean? So it's not just in, for example, in the third world, it's even in the Western world. China's bidding for the biggest contracts and they're building, our homes as well.
Yes.
So in that sense, and understanding that, do you really think that they will go back and reinvest in the villages when they are going global and they're taking their talent to say, if we win this project, for example, to build the bridge in Nottingham, we want all the project leads to be from China, and then the blue collar workers, maybe the first level of management, can be indigenous workers. Do you see them pushing back to say, we want to go back and reinvest in that village? I only know Shanghai, by the way. So I'll say a village in Shanghai. Do you see that as a possibility?
I think we couldn't say we come back. So in China, I think because I'm not been in China for 3 years. So right now, I heard many students, my friends say the both. It's not like building outside. They just let's building in China the same. The both sides the same. The building the same. So in China, we have the many new roads, the high speed train, all across the Chinese land, especially for the rural area right now. You can understand, we in China, we have the high speed train, right? So I've been very interesting things, which is the Chinese government put all the train station. It's not just only in the main big city. They're almost separate in the rural area. That's
Okay.
good strategy for them. Since if the high-speed training can cross many mountain area, rural area, village area, they will make the economy grows up and establish this kind of village. And then if the transport is more easy, more convenience, I think the factory, the big factory, the big investigation, whatever country they'll be involved with, will in that's which I mentioned, that's rural area, mountain area, the village area. They grown up. It's been grown up. So I think both sides is growing the same. It's not just outside, not just inside. That's great.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, I like that. Well, I've never been to China, so I don't know what's going on in there. So I'll take your word. And then in terms of going back to your research then, when it came to your methodology, I know, you are from a dance background, and where are you, or what are you thinking to do? I know you're at the final stages, and if you don't want to answer, that's okay. In terms of your data collection, because I tend to get a lot of questions relating to quantitative, qualitative, what can I do? I feel like I'm being forced to work on this, but I don't really feel like it. So how did you make your decision then when it came to collecting your data and analyzing your data?
In the first times, I think in the first year, I talked many times with my supervisor, which methodology I should pick up. So first strategy, I'm not talking many more things with my supervisor. I just made the strategy. Okay. All the strategy. This kind of strategies I can do the quantitative, and this strategy I can do qualitative, and then hand on to my supervisor, pick it. So my supervisor make the decision for me. So my supervisor say, this is more easier, or this is more harder, and I think you should pick this one or not that one. This one is more better for you. So just make decision by my supervisor. That's great, because before that I made some things for them. Yeah, that is good strategy. Not just only one. I heard some PhD students. That's a secret, right?
Yeah, you had like backup plans, isn't it? Yeah.
So some PhD students, so they met the supervisor, just say, I want to do this methodology. I want to do this cognitive way. But maybe in the experts, they might say, no, I think it's not correct. But maybe you can use another method. But when the supervisor mentioned another method, you will nervous, or you will scared. Why? You will complain. Why I choose this method? Why you let me do another method? So that's me. Just everything I think about in advance, and then picked by the supervisor. So right now, like my paper, all the paper dissertation, I just finished in advance. Whatever the quality, whatever how many words, whatever anything, I'm not care about that. First, I did. When I did, I hand up to my supervisor. You can pick. You can pick many choices, many options. You can pick. Okay, it's great for me, because after that, I just to refine the policies, some direction. It's not to recreate the new things. So that's the things I made it. Yeah.
I'm learning too, so thank you very much for sharing.
No,
So,
no, no.
moving on
No.
to the next set of questions. You know, like I've hinted on some of the questions that I do receive.
Mhm.
So the first question then is, should PhD students be judged by the number of journals or articles or, you know, whatever they write, having published successfully online? You know, as students, we are told that, you know, well, not students, we're now known as colleagues, aren't we? That for us to get a job, we should publish. Do you think that's fair?
It must be fair. Why not fair? Because the publish is the evidence to show you have the capacity, you have the ability to do the research.
Mhm.
And the published magazine, I think the Impact Factory or like that, the same things like that, that give you the same evidence. You have a how high level you have it.
So, in terms of the next question, then, it was sent in this format. My PhD advisor advised his friend not to hire me as a postdoc. What should I do? Basically, for example, my supervisor tells his friend or her friend that don't hire Noma because of ABCD for a postdoc. After I've applied, and then I share it with my supervisor and say, this person, Z, has, you know, interviewed me and I think I'm going to get it. But then my supervisor goes straight to that person and says, don't hire them.
No, I think supervisor can help you to process the whole research. But at the end of the final, at the end of the research, you get the Bible, you get things that,
Yeah.
yes, I think the supervisor have the ability to help them if they can. That is,
Yeah.
but if they
Okay.
can, yes, but I think it's not suitable for the researchers, for the PhD students, in my mind, because in the whole PhD journey, we not only learn the research strategy, we should to learn many kinds of results the research, such as to face different experts, to defend many kinds of opposite opinion. That is the things we should do that. And if our supervisor help us to pass some examination like that, to pass some virus, I think you have no experience to defend. You have no experience to face the like more serious like conflict, like defense with opposite opinion. So when you make the same things after, like after you are research you are a researcher in the university, you're researching in your work position. When you face the same issues, you have no experience. So I think in our life, we will meet many block, many obstacles we should to face. So at the end of the dissertation and at the end of our viva, to focus experts is a very good opportunity to improve us. So in my opinion, that is not the examination or like exam like the battle. That is a great experience. Even I can't pass it. Don't worry, we will pass it if I finish our dissertation, right? That is another situation if we can't finish our dissertation, never pass it.
Yeah.
But when we finish the dissertation, we should accept many kinds of songs. It's not just from your supervisor. So this is experience. For me, I like challenging. I want to face challenging. So if I meet challenging, I want the challenging block me. And then I broke the challenging, I make success. For me, it's success, that's experience. So it's good for me. But I'm not sure all the students, all the PhD students have the same mindset. But for me, that is why I come here. That is why I come over here. Because it's big challenging for me. The first day I come here, I can't speak, I can't understand the language. That is the case. So I conquered, I did that. So at the final of the dissertation, I hope somebody will conflict with me or defend with me. Great. I just say, okay, I accept your comments, I accept your things, I will polish my dissertation, I will refine my dissertation. So I think my supervisor will allow me this behavior. So, but my mentally want my help, my supervisor can help me because I need the pass, right?
I think we all want and need that P, that pass. No, I agree with you. So, you know, in terms of a PhD, as you're doing a PhD, would you say, in your opinion, getting a PhD breaks the poverty cycle for a family?
For my family, yes, maybe. Because I have 2 children. So when I come over here, I'll let them at least 2 years right now, they come over here. But I think they make some issues between my study and my family, the relationship. But right now, get me fine because I make my efforts to build the relation with my family, with my wife, with my children. So that depends how can I deal with it. So how can I face it? So if I can't deal with it, maybe broken more and more. But right now, I deal with well. I believe that. Right.
Well, I like that. So in terms of a PhD, in your opinion, would you say it's wise to get a scholarship or to self-fund?
Right now, I'm paying myself. Right now, I'm paying myself. But in my university, because I have a job in China, so my university give many report, give many funding, like support me starting here because I just do research, help the develop of my university. So, but right now, if I come back, they will give me the whole funding. But right now, I should pay myself. So it's big burden for me, right? You know, the tuition fee.
Yeah.
Definitely high.
We will cry together after this discussion. So, in terms of PhD Hardtalk then, do you think it's beneficial for researchers, or do you think I'm wasting my time with PhD Hardtalk? What's your opinion?
No, I think it's many benefits for all the researchers, especially for the PhD candidate, because different people have different experience. It's not just me, and they stand different level, different position. They can see different side. So if the whole site comes together, I think this whole the world. Right? So in my opinion, just the sport in the world. And then if you cooperate all the sports together, I think in your PhD hard talking, make all the efforts, all the experts, all the PhD students work together and all the experience work together, the whole world will make. And then you show other PhD candidates. They will more understanding the previous students, how they did, how they confirm that, how they deal with that. That's very good things. So the end sentence which I want, yeah, I want learning you and start the same things in China.
Well, I'm going to China with PhD Hardtalk. I'm going with you. We're going to business partner.
Yes, you'll be famous in China. Say, I never found this country in China. So when you first talk with me, I'm so excited. So it's very, very useful opportunity to share and then to talk and even the whole world. It's not just in China, whole the world. I think in China we have many strong social media, but I never found this kind of interview or this kind of conversation to share experience. Even they have the hot times, hot research, hot relationship with everybody. I think the same things happens in every PhD candidate. Yeah. But we have no plan to share with them. So you did the right things when you talk with me. So maybe I believe that is the kind of psychotherapy. You know why? Because you make me speak out the things which I want to speak out, but nobody care about that. Nobody care about that. Yeah. Except the same person, the same PhD candidate. So they have the same sounds. Oh, you make the same things. Oh yes, we have made the same things. Right, the same challenging. Oh, I will tell you how to deal with it. It's more easy, right? Just like you make the confirmation and registration, all these 7 to whatever, this kind of that things. So you can transfer many information to other and then make them more easier. That's great. Okay.
I like that. So the final question before we finish, what makes a sample size for any piece of research the right sample size? I mean, you hear people who say, I only spoke to 4 people, or I've only looked at 1 case study, or I've just compared 3 newspaper articles. What is the right number? How do you know that you've got the right case study or case studies or interviewees? How do you get to that point?
I'm not sure it has the definite truly number in there. For my experience, which is whatever how many person I want to interview, I want to find how many cases, or I want to find how many newspapers like that. But I will do one by one since I found everything the same. Okay. Since I think you interview, like I did the research with interview. So first I interviewed 1 expert, and then they give me many information, and then the second experts the same. I think this will appeal some information. The both experts mention the same, right? Okay, you mark it, and then the third one, the fourth one, the sixth one, and when you get the 10th one, you find the 10th experts speak out all the things or repeat by the first 9 one. I think this is the proper one. Okay, you can stop. Yeah. Oh, I like so because you collect all the information. Nobody have a new one, so you can finish. Yeah.
Succinct and straight to the point. Love it. So thank you again, Utaw. Hopefully it will be Dr. Utaw soon from Derby University, Chinese Institute. But yeah, so it was amazing to learn about the children who are left behind, and it is a global pandemic in the sense of parents are migrating to change their families' lives, and they're leaving their young children behind, and then they bring them when they're older, they don't know each other, and it causes more turmoil from a psychological standpoint. So your research is valid, but please pitch it to universities to help students, postdocs, PhD, MSc, undergraduates. We need to laugh a little bit, and I think the professors, they themselves need it as well, because it's been a tough time. Thank
Thank you so much.
you.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you.
Graduated, elevated. Now it's my time to shine. Yeah, let's go.